subscribe. Tariq video. Like and subscribe.
All right, Leandre. Leandre, what's happening?
What's up, Tariq?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm not here to roast or anything like that. I'm just here to kind of give my analysis on FBA in general,
Okay.
in terms of what I think about it.
Okay. Now,
So I do agree that that we should be precise in terms of distinguishing ourselves from other Black people of the diaspora. But my issue with FBA is that I feel like it in a way denigrates other Black immigrants,
how?
or just Black immigrants in general.
How does your lineage
To-
denigrate somebody else?
huh?
How does your lineage denigrate another lineage? That makes no sense.
No, what I'm saying is that the way that FBA is moving is that they're trying to kind of like chastise every Black immigrant that
Slow down.
represents,
Slow down.
their nation.
Slow down. FBA doesn't move. Your lineage is your lineage. It's the foundation. The foundation don't move. So you're talking about just different individuals. But yeah, your lineage don't move. You know, the way the lineage is moving. No, there's 45 million plus foundational Black Americans. So the 45 million people will move 45 million different ways. So you're
No,
talking
I'm talking about as far as like online, as far as like the rhetoric online, not the lineage itself, but the way that the rhetoric is being,
there's rhetoric in
being, just,
yeah,
huh?
there's rhetoric online, there's rhetoric in person, but that doesn't change your lineage.
And another critique that I would like to make of FBA is that I feel like there's a lack of accountability. I feel like when you say that you're not the leader, I think what you're trying to do is squirm out of accountability.
No,
In terms of coining the phrase.
oh, you're not a leader of a lineage. I'm not squirming out of anything. Lead you where?
Because you came up with the phrase, so people are going to hold you accountable, even though people follow you. They still look up to you as a leader, even if they
That's not true.
don't see you as even if they don't say that you're a leader, they look
Down. That's not true at all. I've never said I'm a leader because it's literally illogical to be a leader of a lineage. Nobody of the foundational Black American lineage has ever said I'm a leader. The only people who tell that lie are tethers. And tethers do that so they can try to regain control of the narrative. It's called lying. You can't be a leader of a lineage, sir. What sense does that make? And if I'm not the leader, I've never claimed to be the leader, and nobody said I'm their leader, what's there to squirm out of?
what I'm saying is though I don't have an issue with FBA being a lineage. I have an issue with the fact that, like, since you came up with the acronym, people are still going to hold you accountable for that, because they're thinking like, okay, well, if they're saying all this rhetoric about like Black immigrants, they're going to say like, okay, well, they're being very xenophobic, they're being very like, oh, let's just otherize these people to try to make them look like they're just less than, or it feels like FBA kind of has a God complex, like you're thinking that you're like above other Black people of the diaspora. And I don't want any type of like antagonism or anything like that, because the thing is that I don't have an issue with an African being a Black American. My thing is that, yeah, you can call them out. I agree with you that we can call those people out, but I don't think that we should just attack them every single time we get on Twitter Spaces.
Sir,
Because
sir,
the way that
sir, have you seen the dozens and dozens and dozens of videos out just in the last couple of days of Caribbeans shitting on Black Americans? Just
Oh, I
dozens.
can call them out too. I call them out as well. I'm not saying that they don't do that, but I'm also saying that like FBA attacking immigrants is not any better, is what I'm saying. Like, this tit for tat stuff is not getting us anywhere
There's also
politically.
Americans helping immigrants. So what are you saying? There's in fact down in Jamaica, there's foundational Black Americans at the hotels helping them clean up. Foundational Black Americans help immigrants more than anybody. So what are you talking about, sir?
I mean, but do FBA people who identify as FBA, are they helping Africans and Caribbean people? The self-proclaimed FBA
No,
people.
it's not about self-proclaimed. Either you are or you're not. It's Foundational Black America is not a group. You, sir, for some reason, you keep trying to frame Foundational Black Americans as a group with a leader. You keep doing that. It's not a group. There is no leader.
But what is it? Because I mean, you say it's a lineage, but I'm just saying that, like,
Why do
what
you
are
keep,
your plans to actually get towards reparations? Because you say that you want reparations. Are you saying that you want Black Americans to get reparations from the United States government, right? And I agree with you. But what my problem is that I don't see it moving from just Twitter Spaces. I see it just being stuck on Twitter Spaces and then just
so here's the thing. You are
there.
complaining. Listen, you've made up a group in your mind. You've made up a pretend group in your mind with a pretend leader in your mind. Now you're complaining that this pretend group ain't doing group stuff. That's your imagination, sir. It's not doing what you want it to do because we're not a part of your imagination. We're not a part of your imaginary group. There is no group called FBA. It's only a lineage. We don't have to do
But
anything.
what is that lineage doing though? That's my thing, is that, like, what is it really doing to get towards
You,
reparations? Is it just only just denigrating Africans and just calling that some type of you know
you don't have to do
I
anything.
guess
Now, sir, Mr. Leandre, where's your lineage from, sir? Because you're not.
I'm from the Carolinas. Like, my people are from the Carolinas.
Oh God,
I'm not a Black immigrant. I don't come from Black immigrants.
sir, Mr. Leandre, you've been very dishonest. And if you're dishonest about what foundational Black American is, you're going to be dishonest about other things, sir. And that means you're going to be
And also, too, I would like to call out another thing as well.
you
I noticed that FBA tends to.
hold on, because yeah, you're not being honest, sir. You're not being honest, and you're saying a bunch of dishonest things. And a lot of non-FBAs do that because they feel a lack of control because the delineation movement, the movement is delineation. Foundational Black American, that's stagnant. That's what it is. That doesn't
I
move.
don't disagree with you with actually practicing precision as far as, like, specificity. I don't have an issue with that. I think the issue is that the way that the optics are looking on Twitter Spaces is making it seem like you hate Africans, even though you may not hate Africans, but the way that it looks is like, oh, you just attacked them just for their lineage. So it's like you're kind of like lineage shaming them.
Sir, y'all not going to do that. And no, sir, that ain't true. These people have sat up here calling us a cotta on Twitter for the longest. They sat here
And I disagree with that too. I mean, I agree that they shouldn't be doing that as
kind of overlooking that, sir. We're not going to overlook that. We sat here and let a bunch of bullshit go on for the longest. We sat up here and just kind of played it to the left, where these folks denigrated us, calling us Akatas, Jareers, Abids, and all of a sudden, now we let it go, and these people, Black Caucus, with all of these non-FBAs, and then we see that we are not getting anything as a lineage, but all of these immigrants are getting resources and bills passed. So people kind of woke up and said, hey, something ain't right here. You understand? People kind of woke up all at the same time.
Yeah, I peep the shit that they do as well. I peep the shit that the African and the Caribbean people do
So
to
why,
Black Americans. I don't disagree with you there.
why are you sitting up saying we denigrate people based on their lineage? That's bullshit. And you know that.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, bro. Like, the way that the optics are looking on Twitter Spaces, it kind of looks like you are denigrating Africans every time. I mean, you say they eat bushmeat. You say that they.
You're not. That's how I know you're not of our lineage. You are 100% not a foundational Black American lineage, sir. You're not of our lineage because we come from a culture of roasting people. Yeah, they get roasted like everybody else gets roasted, sir. When people come in here and they say something slick, you're going to get roasted, and I'm going to roast you.
I'm very familiar with the roasting culture. I'm very familiar. I grew up on that as well.
Yeah, but
But
no,
the way that it comes across
but for
is,
you to say that, that means you don't understand the nuances of roasting culture, talking about they're being denigrated. No, they're being roasted. And being roasted, that's a kind gesture because we're not trying to harm these people. We're not getting into their political business that we're not supposed to be in like they do us. These people politically harm us. These people get in political positions and do little janky stuff to us. These people come over here and become part of law enforcement and harm us, like the Myron Gaines, who worked for the federal government. And now he's online spewing anti-Black racism every damn day. But you're telling us we're degrading them? Really?
I think it's thing on both sides. I can look at it from both
Both.
sides. I'm not saying that it's only happening in
Both
FBA
sides.
spaces. I'm saying it's happening.
At least we balance it out. We got some that's going to roast. We got some that's going to clown. We got some that are denigrate. And then there's a bunch of foundational Black Americans who will help these people. There's a bunch of foundational Black Americans that will give them assistance. So there's a balance. We don't get no balance with them. We don't get no help from them or their homeland. Nothing. There's zero benefits, are there?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. Now I would like to also pivot to another thing.
What no, what do we get collectively from these non-FBA people? What do they collectively do to benefit us collectively? I'm not talking about one or two people. Collectively, how do we benefit from any of their actions? How do we benefit?
Honestly, I can't really answer that question
Right.
in particular.
And the fact that you can't answer it, that means no, nothing. We don't benefit at all. We don't. So they benefit collectively off a lot of stuff we put out there. All of the civil rights gains, the voting rights gains, the HBCUs, they benefit off that, the minority tangibles and benefits they benefit from. We collectively benefit these people, but it's not reciprocal. So I don't want to hear about us denigrating them. The fact that they can come over here and thrive is because of foundational Black Americans. And if they get out of line and start talking down on us, yes, we're going to roast them. So we're
Yeah,
not
I
going
get what you're saying. I just don't think I just don't think the way that you're looking at the way that you're looking at it is like you're generalizing all of them as if all of them are doing that, and that's not true. Like I don't think it's true as in terms of all of them just coming over here just denigrating us, because I think the average African really doesn't give a fuck about what we do as Black Americans. But I think that mainly that happens online in these spaces, as far as like Africans trolling, FBAs or ADOS people. So I don't even think that it's more of a large group of
so
African people that
so
are just going after Black
you're
Americans like that.
so you're dismissing their actions as they're just trolling. And when we clap back, oh, we're denigrating the poor African.
I mean,
Oh,
they denigrate us too. I don't disagree with
why
what you're
your complaint?
saying. I'm saying the
Why
trolling
your
can be
complaints
through
to us?
denigration.
So why are your complaints to us then? They're just trolling. Oh, leave them alone. But oh, you foundational Black Americans, oh, don't denigrate them. The optics are just so bad. So why is the optics so bad with us, but not them?
No, the optics look bad on both sides. That's just what I'm saying. I'm trying to be objective in terms of how I see it, because I feel like that I see the problems on both sides, as far as like just even the way that FBA people and African people on these spaces talk to each other. It's not no kind of like unity. A lot of times it's all this, let's antagonize each other, let's just go tit for tat, and I feel like it's not getting any of us anywhere. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not saying it should be a kumbaya thing, but I think that there should be some type of respect on both sides. And I think that the Western media has really brainwashed
Oh,
both.
no, listen, we don't owe nobody nothing. We've given enough respect. We've given everything. We don't owe nobody nothing because they ain't bringing nothing over here. You coming over here eating off us, the last thing you're going to do is come at us with any disrespect. That's the new norm. And people are tired. People are tired of the disrespect. People coming over here from third world countries and then have the nerve to sit up here yelling Akata and any other pejorative term at us as if they did us a favor. So we don't owe nobody no damn respect. And it's a new norm. That's what it is. And it ain't me. It's everybody's waking up because everybody sees the disrespect. That's why you don't see foundational Black Americans jumping out, putting the cape on for this immigration ICE raid thing. That ain't because of me. That's people understanding the importance of lineage and handling lineage business. You understand?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I mean, I just think that there are certain things with FBA that I just feel like don't sit right with me.
Because you're
You know, that's the reason why I said I want to do a critical analysis of what FBA, what I feel like FBA is.
no.
And I also too, huh?
No, that's the thing. It's not what you feel because you have no control over the narrative. Foundational Black American is a lineage, and you not being a part of that lineage, you can't do anything about that. And I think that's where the frustration is because that's why you
I
keep.
think you're making an assumption about my lineage. I
Yeah,
am what you consider.
100% not. You're not an FBA. 100%. Let's just cut the shit. You're not foundational Black American. You're not of our lineage. I already know that.
You
So
can't make that assumption. You
yes,
can't make that assumption. You
and based on how you've been talking, yeah, I can pretty much make that assumption. You're not of the lineage. I can make that
I
assumption.
feel like every time somebody disagrees with you, you always question their lineage.
Yeah, yeah, because when you say stuff that's completely dishonest and then you keep trying to reframe a narrative to fit a lie, yeah, you've already been dishonest about a few things. So if you're dishonest about one thing, you'll be dishonest about two things, sir. So I don't believe you're of the lineage, and that's why you take
I
offense.
am of the lineage. I just don't say FBA because I feel like FBA comes with a lot of negative connotation.
No, sir, no. FBA means that you can't latch on. FBA is a very strong term that you can't latch on to, sir. And that's what the problem is. And that's why you have an issue with it because you can't remix it. You've been trying to remix what Foundational Black American means on this phone for the last 20 minutes. You've been trying to remix it. Only people who
I
are,
haven't tried to remix it.
yes, you have. Yes, you have. You tried to
In
redefine,
what way?
even you
Give
just
me
said,
an example.
I'm trying to understand what FBA is. It's not rocket science, it's a lineage. Foundational Black American means one thing, and it is not rocket science: non immigrant lineage. That's all it means. You have tried to remix it. You tried to make me a leader. That none of that makes sense. Only people who do that are non FBAs, sir. All right?
Okay, so how are y'all getting reparations? That's just what I want to know because you say it's a lineage, but
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Some people want reparations. Some people don't even care about fighting for it. That doesn't change their lineage. You understand? Do you understand that? If you say, I only want
I
my reparations,
understand that, but it's like you're letting people be politically lazy. I think you're politically lazy, and a lot of the people who
I might be. I might be. I might be. And what's wrong with that? What,
because it's sloppy. That's what I'm saying. It's politically
what's wrong?
sloppy for you to just be like, okay, it's a lineage, so I'm not gonna
Okay.
vote. I'm not gonna do any of that.
What's wrong with being politically lazy and sloppy? Does that change my lineage?
No, it's not about that. It's about the fact that you say that you advocate for reparations, right? And
Uh-huh.
we both agree on that. But the way that you are telling people to move, as far as like, don't vote for anybody at all, just just sit on the couch. That sitting on the couch is not the way to go
What's the way,
because there are other things to vote on that ballot.
way to go? Okay. Then what's the way to go? You tell us. Go ahead. What's the way to go?
Well, depending on people's state, because some people might, have different candidates that they like or they don't like. I'm like, just write in things. Maybe you can write in FBA or write in. Well, some people might write in ADOS. I mean, I know some people don't get down with ADOS, but just write in, the lineage to know that you just showed up. Because if you don't show up, a lot of times is going to make it look like you do not care about the people, that you're not actually trying to move politically in a way where it actually gets us towards something. Because I think a lot of times when you say just sit on the couch, it's just
Okay, you just babbled for about 3 minutes and didn't say nothing, and then you circle back to criticizing me. I asked you what the plan is, and you couldn't give me a plan. Why can't you give me a plan, sir, Leandre? What's the plan? And Leandre, you're Democrat, by the way. You Democrat?
no, I'm independent.
Okay. Hold
I
on.
don't consider myself to be Democrat nor Republican.
Let, let me get,
I do feel like, go ahead.
let me get brother Dan in here. Let me get brother Dan in here.
Yeah, what's good, Flex? How you holding up, man?
I'm good, Dan. We got brother Leandre in here.
Yeah, typical Democrat shield talking point where they try to make it seem like they're not Democrats and they're just their independents.
Mm-hmm.
But he's clearly
I'm not
pushing a
Democrat, bro.
Democratic. I'm sure you aren't. Let me guess, you're a radical too, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm not party affiliated. My thing
I
is that
know, I
I'm all
know,
about
I know,
policy. And
for
anybody,
sure.
I feel like anybody who criticizes the right wing, y'all always denigrate them and then say they're just a Democratic shield. That's
Mm.
what y'all do.
No, the right
Y'all
wing has
don't
nothing to do
allow
with this.
people.
We don't support, we don't endorse either party. That's the thing. Like we
I
vote,
know, but see, what I'm saying is that,
we
like with
support our interests. You
Tariq,
understand
like
that?
I would
And
say,
if we're looking at
there have been records
just real quick,
shown
and I got
on
you,
these
real
Twitter
quick, real
spaces
quick.
that
Yeah, for sure,
every
all of that, real
time
quick. Do
Trump
you
did something,
understand
Tariq
what
has never
happens?
critiqued it.
Hold on one second. Do you understand who black people tend to vote for the most in this country?
Yeah, most black people tend to vote for Democrats. I get that,
Okay, so
but
if
I'm
there's
not saying
problem,
that.
well, listen. Hold on, listen. I just asked you a question. That's it. So when people are criticizing politicians, it's based on the ones who are in charge of their area. Where black people live, the Democrats are in charge. Now, I'm not saying either party is better than the other one. However, when we look at our own self-interest, immigration, for example, one party brought in 20 million undocumented immigrants. The other one wants to get rid of them. Mass deportation benefits foundational Black Americans. So you've seen a lot of foundational Black Americans supporting ICE in its mission to rid the country of these illegal immigrants. Because the first thing they did is they went and dumped them in poor Black neighborhoods, i.e., Chicago, New York, and places like that. So when you take 20,000 undocumented people who are criminally prone and you place them in an already struggling environment, and then you take the resources from those people and you give it to those illegal immigrants, that is a problem. And if the person sitting on top of that hill is a Democratic mayor, like in Chicago, for example, when he ran on a promise to not raise property taxes and decided that, hey, in order to pay for these illegal immigrants, he needs to raise property taxes by 3 billion American dollars. That is a problem for people. And then when the city rolls up and say, hey, we don't want this, the city council got together and said, you know what? We're going to take away the people's ability to remain or to revoke sanctuary city status. That's what they did. So we're not saying in favor of one party or the other. We're calling out BS wherever it goes. Now, we knew this was gonna happen. We just talked about this, Flex, that every time November pops around, there's an influx of people like yourself coming around, pretending to be independents and pushing people toward the Democratic Party. Now, I don't care
No, I'm not
how
telling
much.
people to be Democrats. See, you're putting
Sure,
words in
you
my
are.
mouth,
You,
and I don't want
sir,
you to
sir, you
make
saying
it
a
seem like
lot.
I'm.
When you just said earlier that anytime somebody criticizes the right wing, we're not even talking about that. You are here trying to put a stigma on people who call themselves foundational Black Americans, which is a lineage. It's not a group, by the way. It's a lineage. You have people like Flex said who agree and don't agree. This is what it is. You cannot change your lineage. There's a more specific lineage that people cannot tether on, i.e., and say they're a part of if they don't have the
But
paperwork
what
to
is that
prove it.
lineage anchored in? That's my point. My point is, like, what is that
It's
lineage anchored in? Is it going
okay.
to get us towards
Gotcha.
reparations?
I
That's
got you. I
that.
got you. I got you. Ask the question. Get the answer right. You ask, what is it anchored in? It's anchored in your lineage. Literally, if you say, if you look at, if you can trace your ancestry back to 1865 and before, then that means you are a foundational Black American. It's real simple because we don't come from an immigrant group. You have people who came over here in the 60s, the 80s, the 70s, and even like the early 1900s. Our lineage is very different from those. We have the oldest bloodlines in this country. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for America taking in a bunch of European immigrants, we would probably be the dominant group in America right now.
I mean, I get
That's what
what
it's
you're
anchored
saying,
in. It's not what
but
you making it out to be.
now I would like to kind of like say this as well, as far as like this whole thing of trying to like convolute this Native American identity with the African slaves that were brought over. I feel like those are two different claims that you're trying to make, and
I got
I
a question
think
for you.
that is the problem that undermines reparations, because what happens
Not
is
really,
that
not really.
you're
Not,
because
now you're conflating something, right? We're not saying
no,
that we.
it is convoluted. The way
No, no,
that
no, no,
is
no, no.
framed
Your
is like,
understanding
oh,
of
the
it
black
is
indigenous
off.
people mixed in with the African slaves. What happens is that you
Listen,
gotta
listen. Your
go to the
understanding of it is
Bureau of
off.
Indian Affairs on the side of the Native Americans, and then
No, your
go to the
understanding
U.S.
of it is
government
off.
on the other side.
Leon,
Huh?
Your understanding of it is off. What you're conflating two different things, right? Because as documents show from the French, from the British, and from the Spanish, that there were already black people here in this country. We know that.
They might have been dark skinned, but they might have not
They
been
were
Black
definitely black.
American
They
or
were
Black
definitely
in
black.
terms of
They were
African.
definitely black. They were definitely black. So we're not saying that every person over here is native to this land, but we're saying there's a lot of us who are. Case in point, if you look at Mexico, you call them Spanish people? You call them Mexican?
I mean, we call them Mexican because of the
Yeah, because they had
nationality,
an
of course. Yeah,
admixture, right? Because they mixed in. So the Spanish
yeah.
conquistadors
I
mixed
don't
in.
disagree with you as
Listen,
far as like
listen,
the
listen for a
admixture, but the
second. Listen for a
majority of our
second.
admixture is
You're
not
not
Native
listening.
American. The
You're
majority
not
of our
listening.
admixture
You're not
is
listening.
of African descent and
You're not
European
listening.
descent with a
Do you
little bit of
understand
Native
that there are
American.
black natives, though, right?
Yeah, but
You do
that's a
understand
different
that.
claim, though. That's a different claim than
No, no,
saying
no.
the
I
African
want you to
slave. You
understand.
know, as far as like the African slaves that were brought over.
How many
That's a
African
different
slave ships
claim, though.
actually reached America, though? This part, because most of them landed in
So
Brazil.
then I feel like it's kind of rooted in anti-African
Hold on,
rhetoric. That's why I feel like.
time out. Whoa, 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 hold on, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Quit talking about how you feel. Let's just deal with facts. I'm just telling you the facts. You don't understand that these slave ships were owned by companies who kept records with insurance. So we understand how many of them actually reached these places. And most of them did not even come to America. A lot of them landed in Brazil, which is why we can look at the numbers and say
Here we go. What you gonna tell me?
just
What
crunching the numbers,
only
it didn't
four
even.
percent came to the United States, and then that means that it's only a small population of African slaves that came over, and then most of them were indigenous. I get what you're getting ready to say,
Okay,
okay,
so
but
hold
that's
on. That's 1 second. I gotta ask 1 second. I gotta ask Leander something. You said rooted in anti-Africanness. You said that. What do you mean by that? Leandre? You said you
oh
feel
yeah.
like
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You said you feel like the narrative is rooted in anti-Africanness.
Because the way that it's framed when you say, "Oh, they're Black indigenous," which means what you're saying is that okay, well, it's something that's very different than African, and also too, y'all try to make that the predominant ethnicity, if that is an ethnicity, because I don't think it's an ethnicity.
What?
And then you try to kind of downplay the African part of it. You try to say, "Oh, well, we mixed in with the African slaves, so that means that we didn't have as much African DNA versus having indigenous blood." So what you're saying is that that we are not tied to any part of Africa as much as the quote unquote indigenous people that you claim were Black.
Let me ask you this. What if we say we love Africa to death? We love Africa and we're going to put back on the African medallions and kente cloths. How does that help us?
No, I don't say. I'm not saying you have to do those things.
Okay, I'm just saying, how does that, okay, let's say we're not anti-African, which we're not. Let's say we're just pro-African. How does that help us in any way, shape, or form?
I'm not saying it helps you in terms of how
Right?
you move politically, but what I'm saying is
If
just to
we are,
tell the facts of history, not
okay,
try to rewrite history to try to fit another narrative
so yeah, either way,
to make it look like you don't have no connection to Africa. Huh?
so yeah, either way, if we don't like Africa or if we love Africa, it don't help us either way, do it?
I mean, politically, it doesn't, but we still have to acknowledge the African slaves that we do descend from in terms of them being brought over. Especially if you're going to make a claim, of reparations, you're not going to be like they're not going to, like, especially the Supreme Court is not going to say, okay, well, you get to claim Black indigenous as well as being African, because they're going to be like, okay, well, are you Black indigenous or are you of African descent? They're going to be confused by that, especially if you take it to the Supreme Court.
No, sir. We had an ethnogenesis over here. That's why we ain't even using the term African. We became black. We had an ethnogenesis over here. We became a whole new ethnic group, which was a mixture of the African and the Black indigenous. We're not trying to claim no indigenous tribe. We're not even going that route. We're saying
But
foundational
most Black
Black
Americans are not tied to a native tribe, though. Most Black
American.
Americans don't even know the languages they spoke. Most Black Americans don't even know the culture of Native Americans. Like they think that just wearing a feather and moccasins makes them
No.
Native American. A lot of the people that follow you
That's
think
a
that that's what it
conversation you
means is
should
just
have
to
with
wear
them and not
moccasins.
us. We're not
Yeah.
even talking about that.
Yeah, you talking about the people who follow
And I
me.
bet you some in the Twitter space right now saying, "Oh, I come from a Choctaw person that hunted
Ask them.
lions,
My
tigers, and
grandmother is
bears,
full
and
blooded
came
Choctaw in
from
Mississippi
Narnia and
though.
came from."
I don't claim, do I claim? Have you heard me claim a Native American tribe?
You
When,
said Yamasee, right? You said Yamasee and
I
Wachita
ain't,
or something like that. And then
I,
that Native American woman, she gave you the facts, and then
when have you heard? I've never claimed that I'm Yamasee. What are you talking about? When have I
you
ever said I'm
remember
Yamasee?
when. No, like when I think it was either that Native American woman that.
Slow down. I said, have no, I know they're black. There were black Native American tribes. Have I claimed to be a part of a tribe? Me. Have I claimed to be a part of a tribe?
You might have not
DeAndre?
claimed specifically. No, no, I don't think you claimed specifically, but you say Black
Bruh,
Indigenous. So it's like, how do you unpack that? How do you unpack Black Indigenous? Like, which tribe do you come from? If you're saying that you are Black
what tribe
Indigenous,
am I from in Africa?
I mean, well, you can break that down with African Ancestry yeah, DNA. I think with Gina Page, Dr. Gina Page, she'll let you know.
How would they know that?
Dr. Gina Page can use the DNA like the swab test, the swab test to let you know like
They
within 6 to 8
swabbed
weeks.
dogs
I've
before and
done
got
that.
tribes back. What are you talking
And
about?
guess what? Some of my lineage is indigenous over here with some of the swab tests.
Okay, can you prove that you have indigenous ancestry as far as like with your DNA results?
A DNA that proves that I have indigenous ancestry here and
And I
documents.
bet you it's about 2%, right?
Don't what I had on my dad's side, there was somebody who was a Creek, somebody. To me, that doesn't matter. Even the African stuff doesn't matter. We had an ethnogenesis. I claim foundational Black American. I don't claim the red tribes or the indigenous tribes. I don't claim that. Even though there was
Like
a
I feel like it's confusing because you say we are mixed in.
oh, slow down. Yeah, genetically, but we had an ethnogenesis. We had an
I get
ethnogenesis
that.
here.
I get the admixture. I'm not disagreeing with you with that because we all have an admixture.
I'm talking foundational Black American business. Culturally, we're foundational Black American. Y'all like to get into these circular non sequiturs about what you were, I guess, 1,000 years ago. To me, that just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the specific tribes because we had an ethnogenesis. And that makes us unique. Many foundational Black Americans, you do have indigenous ancestry some way, even if it's trace ancestry. You have it. We've been here too damn long. You think we've been here that long and didn't mix in with any indigenous people? I ain't saying we got to claim it. We ain't claiming no African tribe. You think we've been here?
Most of us are not mixed in with native people. I mean, that's just not factual. Now, some of us,
How would we not be being here this long, sir? That's virtually impossible.
because it depends on the region. It doesn't depend on like just being in the country. Because
Sir,
I would say that maybe if you were in,
sir, we foundational Black Americans have been all over the United States. I'm talking about in every area. We founded a lot of cities and towns in America, sir. Where have we not been historically in this
but you
land?
were not here from 23,000 to 27,000 years ago. Now, yeah, may have been before America.
The oldest fossils they found was Lucia woman. They reconstructed it. It was a Negroid woman.
Come on, Tariq. Now, the Mesoamerican anthropologist found out that she wasn't connected to Africa. Come on,
Where did
man. Like we
Where did I say Africa? I said Negroid.
You literally just proving a point right there.
Yeah, you see how
Lucia is not connected to blackness. She's
sleight of hand? He tried to do a sleight of hand. When you Lucia woman is Negroid. The white people who constructed the skull and made a lifelike version of what she looked like, they were constantly in disbelief and they had to concede. Yeah, it was a Negro. Yeah, we kept doing tests over and over. Yeah, she's Negroid.
You
Even
can't always go by what you see, and sometimes you have to take this.
What?
go by our lying eyes. Okay, right. We can't go by what this person is staring us in the face looking like. So what else do we go by?
That's not factually correct, Tariq, because
Whatever narrative they want to
they
push.
found they didn't find anything connected to Africa in terms of Lucia. And first of all, Lucia
Nobody
is in Brazil. That was in Brazil. That was South America. That's not even North America, bro.
heard. There, you think people that woman the fossils are like 12,000 years old. You think folks weren't corresponding and interacting with each other up and down the Americas? That's in walking distance. It's not separated by sea. You think they weren't walking up and down the Americas?
So you think if, an archaeogeneticist would connect Lucia's DNA with yours and it would match? Do you think that that would be a match?
So I'm not even going that route. I'm just saying that there were Negroid Aboriginal here, and that's been proven by science. You asking if I'm going to have a DNA match? I'm not trying to insult you. That's ridiculous and silly and almost trollish.
But
And you
that's
don't
anti-science, bro, because like you're going against science. You're just going by just hearsay and conspiracy theories and just what
out here saying scientists literally said it. Scientists said it.
I can
What do you
pull it up on Google right now, and I bet you it won't say.
scientists said it? Literally, scientists said it. They reconstructed the woman. It's Negroid. She looks like black women.
Negroid is not the same thing as saying that. Well, I mean, she might have looked probably like that, but she's not connected to Black Americans.
Wow,
I
you
guarantee you, she's
dedicated to
not.
misunderstanding the whole conversation, ain't you? How can you say using science is anti-science? That doesn't even make sense.
I
If the,
mean,
if the
you claim that they're
first off,
using science. How do you know that they're using the
archaeologists have
accurate
no
type of stuff?
listen. The archaeologists had no agenda in this. They were simply digging for bones. And when they found a bone, they carbon dated it. It was 12,000 years old. When they reconstructed it, the first thing they noticed was, oh shit, this is Negroid features, i.e., black people. Point being, there have been black people in this land for 12,000 plus years. Even if you say she's the first person of her kind, that means there's an 500,000 year period where there were black people all over this landmass. And that was before the conquistadors and whoever else came in like the early part of last century. So, I mean, last millennia. So, either way it go, no matter how you spin it, we were already here. And if you believe that all life started in Africa, when those people left Africa, what do you think they looked like?
And also, too, the
No, no,
Americas
no.
are
But
too
answer that
cold for
question before you,
Africans to
because
be
answer
here.
that question before you move the goalpost. If you believe all life started in Africa, when those people left Africa, what do you think they looked like?
You said if people left from Africa, what would they look like?
What I'm saying to you is, do you believe all life started in Africa? And if you believe that, when those people
I mean, as
decided
far
to
as like
leave
Homo
Africa,
sapiens, yeah, Homo sapiens, yeah, they
no,
existed
we're
in
not
Africa for
talking about.
years. And
We're not talking about Neanderthals, obviously. But the point is, when they left Africa, what do you think they looked like? It's not a trick
what do I
question.
think they look like as far as like coming out of Africa? I mean, of
No,
course,
coming
they're
out
going
of
to look like
Spain.
many
What the
different
fuck?
things.
Okay, good lord, kid. Listen, yes, obviously. So when they made it over here, that's how you see those bones from Lucia woman being a black woman that they found who, i.e., left Africa. You know what I'm saying? So when we say that we were everywhere, we were everywhere. So how long do you have to be on a landmass before you consider yourself a member of that landmass and not the ones you quote unquote came from?
Okay, I don't get your point. I don't
Okay,
really
okay,
don't
I'll,
get your
I'll
point.
say it slower. I'm sorry, because I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. If you, person one, and your descendants move to another landmass, how long, how many thousands of years do you have to be there before you are considered a member of said landmass?
Are you talking about numerically or metrically? Is that what you're saying as far as like how many
What's the
years
difference
it would
between
take?
numeric and metrics? What's the difference between those two?
I mean, it's really no
They're
difference.
synonyms, genius. They're synonyms. So what I'm
Of
asking you
course,
is,
it's about
how long?
numbers.
You asked me. You still say ask me. Hey, what's the difference between a color and a color? Like you just sit there. Look, I think you understand full well. I think you're here just trying to troll because in no way is shape. There's no way that you actually missing the point. You understand, like I understand, that Mexicans in Mexico, they came from the Spanish conquistadors, and they're considered Mexican. No one bats an eye. The Canada people, they came from Britain. If you would consider them Canadian, no one bats an eye. Australians literally was a British prison colony where they murdered a bunch of people and then, turned it into Australia. People consider them Australians and no one bats an eye. Jamaicans right across the river, right across the ocean, are in Jamaica. They consider them Jamaicans. No one bats an eye. The Haitians, no one bats an eye. When we say we self-identify as foundational Black Americans, everybody seems to have an issue with it to the point where this grown man, hopefully with no kids, just asked me what's the difference between numerical and metric. Like, I don't understand that.
No, I
Like, it
didn't
was
say that. I
ridiculous.
said that. Are you saying numerically or metrically? Like I'm. That's what I was saying. Numerically or metrically.
Define both of those words for us real quick.
It's mainly dealing with numbers. I get all of that, but I'm saying like, are you talking about in terms of a number? Okay, let me simplify it then. Are you talking about in terms of
Okay,
a
how long
specific
did the
number?
how long did the Spanish conquistadors descendants have to be in Mexico before they were considered Mexican?
It would have to be thousands of years, but
Mexico's
Mexicans
not
are not
thousands of
just
years
Spanish
old.
conquistadors.
Whoa, whoa,
They're
hold on,
not
hold on,
that.
hold
First,
on.
They're a
Mexico,
mixture. I
that's
get
the
the
point we're making.
ethnogenesis and all that.
Mexico
Okay,
500 years old. The first Mexican was born in 1521. Before 1521, no such thing as a Mexican existed.
yeah, and we have dates of us being here before that. So again, we ask you how
Okay, so
long you
how
have to
many
be in the
thousands of years
landmass.
ago has
Good
black
Lord,
people
kid.
been in the United States? Well, before
All
it was
right, well,
called
so
the
we
United
got
States.
well, we got evidence of black women being here 12,000 years ago. Now we
12,000.
go back. This is a circular conversation. He keeps circling back. He keeps every time he realizes his point's not making sense. He
He,
Okay,
just
so
keep trying to
I
double
even
back.
looked up the
yeah,
Lucia thing that you said. I even looked up the
okay,
Lucia thing.
oh,
They said her
okay,
ancestors.
okay. We're going about to thank you, Dan. We're about to wrap this up. Let me see. Ty Powell wanted to say something. Ty, hop on in real quick.
Yeah, the DNA is not going to show you your lineage. It just is, it's all it is just vague F and M chromosomes. Let's go back to thousands of years. The only way you're going to find your true lineage is finding your grandmother's grandmother's grandmothers and grandfather's grandfather's grandfather. That's the only way. And we've been here thousands of years. Because when I went back to 1769, there's not a slave ship there, and only 4% of the actual African slaves came to the United States. So that's
I, I get
mathematically
that. I get what you're
impossible.
saying, man. I get that. But how do you know that within that 4% they didn't procreate with each other and grow the population over time? How did you know that?
400,000, 4%, 400,000 in 400 years. That means that if the population in 1850 was 4.5 million, it's mathematically impossible to have us not mixed in with the native tribes. It's mathematically impossible. There's
But
only
how many natives were here?
5.2.
How many black natives were here? Because y'all say that we descend more from them than we do from the
Okay,
Africans
listen,
that were brought
listen,
over.
listen. Out of 48 million black people here, there's only 5.1 million African and Caribbean combined. Most of them are in New York or Florida. So how come there's not an African St. Louis or African Atlanta, African Houston? There isn't. There's small numbers. They don't exist like that in large numbers. Why is that? Because we were already here. 400,000 people cannot procreate 48 million in less than 200-300 years. It's mathematically impossible.
But over
Do you
time, that
understand?
population is going to grow because people are going to want to procreate
It's not going to
within them.
grow past 3 to 5%. No civilization on earth has
But
gone past
they didn't stop
5%.
bringing the slaves over though, because even in the 1800s, they still brought more African slaves to the United States.
Very
Very,
small
they
numbers. We're
banned it.
talking 10, less than 1,000
After
at the
Yeah.
after the
time.
after the 1800s, they did
So,
ban it. But
so down. Let me slow you down. No, because early 1800s, they actually banned the importation of people coming over from Africa. They banned it, but our population was still growing. So yeah, we were already here. There was a lot of us, a significant number already here. You can't say they were bringing a whole bunch of folks from Africa in and the shit was banned,
It was
right?
banned. 1850, they banned it.
Right. Leandre?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right. Thank you, Ty. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much. All right. Leandre was just talking in damn circles to hear himself talk. Oh, boy, these folks don't really have no real arguments. And he ain't from the lineage, by the way. This dude is not from the damn lineage. Family, have y'all noticed people keep trying to use South Carolina or North Carolina to crowbar themselves in? I've been seeing a lot of tethers claim that they're from damn North and South Carolina. That's like a new little hustle they got. They focused in on the Carolinas. I guess they're trying to backdoor their way through the Gullah Geechees. I don't know what they're trying to do. But a lot of these people are claiming that they're from the damn Carolinas and they're really not. He don't even have a Carolina accent. You know what I'm saying? So this dude was not being honest about his lineage. He ain't from the lineage. You can just tell. Web3 vet. Web3?
Hey, B1 Tariq, B1 to the family. Just gonna make this quick about the Leandre kid, and then I'm just gonna move on to my 2 points I want to make.
Go ahead.
FBA, it moved on from Twitter Spaces earlier this year when Ryan Coogler made Sinners, and he spoke about it in an interview, not once but twice.
Oh yeah.
Mo- yeah, moving on to my first point, I'm not excited or happy that the hurricane hit Jamaica because of what happened with Katrina down here in New Orleans. But what I am happy about is that the discussion, the fallout that came after when everybody was ganging up on Black America, and it turned out it was Caribbean,
Yeah.
and it woke people up to the falsehood of what Black unity, and it put a damper on what Monteleo is trying to push out into saying, hey, I'm all for Black unity, when we can clearly see the whole diaspora is against us,
Yeah.
repeatedly. And this is my last point. Monteleo and Kirby, that chick from Mississippi, I believe in 2026 they're going to start pushing them heavy. They're going to push them on the BET awards, and then through the midterms, and then they're going to make them go quiet for 2027, and then in 2028 the Democratic Party is going to bring them back out again in order to push Black unity and Pan Africanism and whatnot. And that's all I want to say. Be
Yeah.
one.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Good way, good way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good way, good way.